Hey, everybody, and welcome back to the Black Cat Lounge. Where else would you be on a Tuesday night? Because why? Hey, what can I tell you? We're all just like hanging out together. It's what it's all about. Art, do you feel the love? Wait a minute, everybody do this. Feel the love. What's wrong with you guys? Why are you doing this? You do everything everybody tells you to do. What's wrong with you? No, 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 no. Welcome to. I'm so thankful that you guys are going to be here tonight, and we have a great show. I had a like crazy adventure. I had this crazy adventure last week that I have got to go and I have got to share with everybody, and really, it was an amazing time. But before we do, I have a special request for Bill Randall, who is an old salt. He is a Navy guy. So I have to go and I have to sing him a little sea shanty, a little something that, well, back in the day when ships were canvas and when you had to go ashore, you had to row. You had to row the boats, the whale boats into the docks. So this is what they would sing. This was a little sea shanty that I did my research, Bill, just for you. I did the research, and it's ready. It's all for me grog, me jolly jolly grog, all gone for beer and tobacco. Well, I spent all me tin on some lassie drinking gin. Now across the western ocean we must wander. Oh, where is me pants, me noggin pants? All gone for beer and tobacco. Well, I lent them to a and they knocked them to the floor. Now me arse is looking out for better weather. It's all for me grog, me jolly jolly grog. All gone for beer and tobacco. Well, I spent all me tin on some lassie drinking gin. Now across the western ocean we must wander. That was for you. That was especially for you, Bill. And I wanted to make sure that everybody knew, that I do these things just, out of the goodness of my heart. I do these research projects and I love doing it. Anyway, I gotta tell everybody that it's August already. Can you believe it's August already? I can't believe it already. What happened to July? What happened to July? Oh, wait a minute. What happened to my hair? I don't know. These things just kind of pass by me. I don't know where they come from or how it happens, but it just seems to be fleeting. But I know everybody's having a good time. I want to tell everybody that there's a psychic fair at the Pratt Opera House. Now, the Pratt Opera House is in Albion, New York, and it's got another little special place in my heart because not only is it the Opera House, but there is attached in the separate building a Grand Army of the Republic, a Civil War Union veterans post. The room is there. It's in pretty poor shape. It's beat up, but there's all the paintings on the walls are still there and that. So I get to my website and figure out when it is and come out there and see everybody because it's really a neat place. A neat place. And my lovely wife Nancy now has just asked, how did you find the mic? It's because she likes to hide these things. I don't know why. I don't know why. I can't wait till our next adventure so she can drive and I can sing to her. I can sing to her all sorts of lovely songs, but well, we can do these things. But anyway, hey, I want to bring on two really good friends. They're volunteers on the USS Edson. I'm saying it right because I always mispronounce it. And I have to say that couple of years ago on the USS Edson, I had what I consider a peak experience. It doesn't happen often for me. Most of the peak experiences I have usually centered around like disco and things that we don't want to talk about. But this is something that really paranormally, it was an amazing thing. So I want to talk about that, but I also want to give everybody a little bit of a history of the Edson, and because it's a wonderful ship. It's here in Buffalo, New York, we have the Naval Park, we have the Little Rock, we have the USS Sullivans, we have the USS Croker, and Anybody that has ever gotten a chance to go and visit is blown away. And the Edson is crazy. It's first of all, it's a great ship. It's really a wonderful, wonderful location for people to go to. But it's more than that. I'll be honest with you, it's almost like a living being. I'm not going to get philosophical and start talking about vibrations and all that stuff, but it's really something. It's really something. You guys got to go see it. So please welcome two of the most beautiful people I know. They're both effervescent. They're both iridescent, and the things that we talk about is it can be a little challenging. We can't talk about a lot of the stuff we talk about on the air, but we're going to talk about the Edson today. So please welcome Anne LaFave and the handsome Bill Randall. Hey guys, hey, welcome to the Black Cat Lounge.
What do you say, Luddy?
Did you enjoy that little song, that little sea shanty?
I wanted to record it. It was so good.
Don't worry about it. Well, I have CDs on sale for $10.95, and all the profits go directly to me. But that's another story.
Well, it is a toe tapper.
Yeah. Let me say this, Tim. If Nan, would you please grab that microphone and hide it again?
Listen, you know what? You know where it is so funny because I haven't used it in a while, and the last time I used it, we were doing frequency experiments with the scanners. So my friend Joe Piari there he is in the room. Hi, Joe. He had really thought about this, and he went and he said, "Geez, perhaps if we use something to to change our voices, because voices are frequency anyway,
right?
But if we could change it to something that's a little bit more pure, maybe we would get better EVPs, maybe we'd get better interaction with ITC tech."
Sure.
I got to tell you what, it works. It does work. And also, what probably the most important thing is, it brings joy to my heart when I can go and aggravate people with it. So that's what I think is it's one of the best things I could ever have.
I think you're still delirious, Tim. I don't know.
Yeah, I am a little delirious from that trip. So before we get into it, because you know what, I can't even describe everything that went on. I don't know if I imagined half of it because I was hallucinating or not, but let's talk about the Edson first.
Okay.
Tell everybody a little bit of the history of the Edson so that people can play catch up and they know what type of a ship we're talking about, and basically why we all think that it's just an absolute wonderful location.
Sure. Well, as probably some of the viewers, they know because they've heard about this forever now from you and me.
True.
Sure. But the USS Edson is a museum ship here in Bay City, Michigan, and she's been here now for about 9 years, and it is the actual museum. And the history of the ship was she was in combat in Vietnam for 12 tours over there in the 60s and early 70s. And it was also a museum ship in New York City for some years. And they gave it away back to the Navy, and they put it in what's called a mothball fleet. And it was in Philadelphia. So we were able to raise the money to get the ship here, which was about $750,000 to have it towed here up the St. Lawrence Seaway. So up through the Welland Canal, we went right by Tim's house, and it's been sitting here now for 9 years. We have a lot of visitors, a lot of tourists that come here. And what I do in the daytime is I'll give tours to people on the ship because I sailed on these ships for 6 years myself in the Navy. And I basically kind of know what I'm looking at. And if I don't, I just make stuff up. So, as long as you're convincing. Yeah, they don't know.
All I got to say is, really, Bill, you did a good job at that because it really sounds true to me. I just, I just ask a question. Bill says something. I just take it as gospel. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I do that especially to people from Western New York for some reason. I don't know why that is.
We're gullible. What can I tell you?
Yeah.
No, let me ask you this. It was in New York City, correct? For a while.
13 years. It was in 13 years in New York. Yeah.
And what was it in New York?
It was part of the Intrepid Air Space Museum, downtown Manhattan. And the Intrepid is an aircraft carrier that's on the pier there, and the Edson is a destroyer, which sat across the pier from that for 13 years. Most of the funding and attention naturally went to the aircraft carrier because it's a lot bigger ship. So eventually, New York gave up the Edson and they gave it back to the Navy, which is very rare that they would actually take this ship back, but they did. And like I said, then they put it in a mothball fleet in Philadelphia, and that's where we had to get it from. So, yeah, that's it. It was there for 13 years.
Now, let me ask you this. There's a room on board that is paranormally active anyway, but why is it called the 9/11 room? Because this is a lot of people don't realize the importance of this ship. Now, we do know that it was featured on an episode of the old Twilight Zone series, which is phenomenal.
Yes.
But 9/11, I remember the first time I came and you guys were telling me about the 9/11 room, and I'm like, why would did you guys go and just name it that as a memorial? But it's more than that.
Yeah. What it is, Tim, is when the ship was in Manhattan, it was there on 9/11 when the World Trade Centers went down. Hey, Chris. So what they did is they ended up, because when the World Trade Centers went down, there was all communication ceased around the city. There was no cell phones, there was no nothing. So the FBI and the city of New York and the Navy actually set up a command cell in what's called the 9/11 room. And what they had computers and radios that they used the mast on the ship that was already existing as a radio tower. So for 3 weeks or so, they actually had a command cell on that ship. So there is actually dust on the ship from the World Trade Centers.
That's amazing to me. That really is, because when you think about it, that was like a pivotal point in our history, in our recent history.
Yeah.
And how they were able to go and reuse something of this nature. And that's why, and people don't get it. People, people will come up to we'll see a museum ship and they come on board and they're like, you know what I mean? You have two different types of people that come on board. You have people that are really like into it and understand it and they want to know everything about it. And then you have just people that are gawkers.
Right. Yeah. Yes, exactly.
And to have something that was actually not just present during 9/11, but an active part of the whole process of the whole. And that to me is amazing to me. And that alone, I hate to say it, but that's why the ship should actually be preserved. It's because we have all these little bits and pieces of the best way I'm going to describe it is little pieces of the puzzle of 9/11.
Right.
And that was a little bit more than one little piece.
Yeah.
So that to me is phenomenal.
Yeah. Yeah. And most people, they don't know that until they get there, until I tell them, they have no idea that ship was actually in Manhattan.
And that's unbelievable. Now, here's the $1 million question. Are you guys ready for the $1 million question?
Well, we've been preparing. We studied really hard.
Yep.
I've seen you guys. Listen, I've seen you guys study.
Right. Yeah.
No. How did you guys? How did you guys get involved with being volunteers on there? Because my biggest bitch in this world is that people don't volunteer enough.
Right.
People, and everybody automatically thinks that when you volunteer, you automatically get stuck as a dishwasher in a soup kitchen or your soup.
No,
that's not it, because there's so much more to volunteering. And if you volunteer, you need to have a passion for what you're doing.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, it's just drudgery. It's going back to work.
It's just a job then.
Yeah, like we don't retire to work. Well, some people do. Some people, but I mean, but people don't get that. So how did you guys, first of all, how did you guys learn about it? And how did you guys get involved with volunteering? And third, are you ready for this one? The importance of volunteering on the USS Edson.
Okay. Importance of volunteering on the Edson. Well, I can tell you this. When I first came to the Edson, that was 9 years ago. And it was 15 years before that, I had met the museum president, and he was sitting in the local mall. And he had a picture of the ship, and he had a donation jar there. And he told me, because that we were both in the Navy, actually he was in uniform at the time, And he told me that we're going to try to get a Navy destroyer in here. Hey, Wendy. And so I told him, I said, Mike, I said, if you ever get a ship in here, I'll be glad to volunteer on the ship, which I did. So when the ship actually arrived, like I say, it was 15 years in the making. I had asked Mike, I said, what do you need here? And he said, well, right now I need tour guides. I said, okay, I'm a tour guide. Being like I say, I know basically what I'm looking at. So I take people through the ship. And I've been doing that now, Tim, for 9 years. So I don't know how Ann got involved.
We're gonna ask. We got to listen. We got to know how Ann got involved, because here's what scares me about Ann. I never knew that she was involved with the Edson.
Right.
When I first met Ann, we were up at a Paracon up in Sault Ste. Marie, the big Paracon.
Right.
And I just thought she was this weird lady that, was hanging out. And
I did so weird.
No. She, you know what? It's funny that how I have so many friends from Michigan and from that Paracon particularly.
Oh, sure.
But I never knew that Ann had been involved. And a couple of years ago when I had that peak experience, I knew she was there.
Right.
But I didn't realize at what capacity she was a volunteer at. So, Ann, how did you get involved with being on the Edson?
Well, it was about 5.5 years ago. I came for an paranormal investigation, and I just love the ship so much I haven't left. They can't get rid of me.
No. She's like the crazy cat lady.
Yeah. I'm here all the time now.
Yeah.
I'm here more than I am at my own work.
I am too.
I shouldn't have asked. I should have just left the weird lady from the Paracon.
Yeah. Well, you let into that.
No, you know what? It's just amazing because I just feel that people miss the opportunities. There's so many people that I know that I worked with that died within the first 3 years of their retirement.
Sure.
And they just whittled it away. And I know that's it's their right to do whatever they want.
Right. Yeah.
But I just thought to myself, you should have a higher calling. You should be able to give a little bit back. I mean, that's why I do the studio work for not-for-profits. And I miss, and I have to say that during COVID, being locked out of the studio, not being able to do anything that I normally do, at the Hull House or whatever.
Right. Yep.
It left a hole in me. I never expected that kind of, and which is why we started the Black Cat Lounge back up.
Exactly.
And, people don't get that. I mean, people should be getting out there. Now, I want to ask you before we start talking about what happened that night. That didn't sound right. But anyway, it happened one night, guys.
You said
me, Bill, and Ann were sequestered aboard the ship. No, and I'm sorry. See, this is what happens when the three of us get together.
I know.
Just
I know.
Total mischief. But what's the importance of volunteering aboard the USS Edson? What would you say if you were a recruiter, to bring somebody, to get them interested in being on board? Because I know, I know personally how, important it is to get out there and do this stuff.
Yeah. Well, mainly, Tim, is just to preserve our history. Being that it was in commission when I was in the Navy, and it's just a history because there's a lot of people that come on board naturally, and they don't know exactly what it takes to do this. And after I have given a tour many times, they have a whole different idea of what the young men on these ships actually have to go through. Because I don't know why it is, but a lot of people think sailors just sit on deck and fish all day, but that's not necessarily the case. But is to preserve our history mostly because, like I say, to tell young people what has happened in the past.
That's perfect. And also, there's a lot of labor that has to be done. There's so much labor. And I mean, people don't realize just how labor intensive it is. It is. Now, we're going to start talking a little bit about, before we take a commercial, but we're going to take a commercial break on the half hour. But let me show you just how in this first view, just how serious the three of us are.
Yeah. When
we got together and you guys picked me up at the airport, and it was just total seriousness. We did, there was no hanky panky, no mischief. Look at this. Now you can you tell that it was just like we were just like three lost children?
Well,
We
we just
all
from
got
the
together.
bar, wasn't it? Yeah, we just left the bar.
No, we were on our way.
We were going to the bar. It was
Oh,
lunch, people. It was lunch.
That's right,
We
that's
were
right,
we didn't imbibe
Yeah.
at all because we were
That's right.
we had to go and we had to work. You know,
That's right.
but it was so great when it was great when I got off in Saginaw, got off the plane.
Yeah.
I saw you guys. I went, oh my God, here we go. I
Yeah.
knew right away it was going to be an amazing.
It was.
Yeah. Anyway, here's a picture that I like of the Edson, so the people can understand what we're talking about, what kind of a vessel it is.
Yeah.
And that's the USS Edson right there. And it's just a beautiful ship. It's an amazing ship. It's so well taken care of. And I have to tell everybody, if you guys get a chance to go out there, you guys got to visit it. And you paranormal investigators, when we start talking about what happened on board that ship, you guys are just going to be sitting there going, you guys will just be sitting there going, oh my God, because I'm going to tell you what,
Yeah.
I know that I was like that. And there's some woman here by the name of, here we go, Annette Randall.
I never
we
heard
don't
of
know. Yeah, we don't know, but
Yes.
she goes, you all look so innocent. And that's what it is. And hey, oh my God, wait a minute. There is a man behind you. There's a beautiful man, a true humanitarian. He's just like people don't realize just what a beautiful guy he is. To be near him, the vibrations that come off of him, you just go, ooh, you know, they're oh my God, and people just get crazy. Hey, Steve Shippey, how are you, my friend? Steve, it's so great to see you, really. And for people who don't know who this cat is, I have worked with so many producers over the years. Never have I worked with a true professional, and I'm not sucking up to you, Steve. You guys were phenomenal. Your hands-on approach was great. And if you guys don't know Steve, check out Haunted in the Heartland, Shock Docs. Oh my God, I think he's got all sorts, and of course Haunted in Saginaw. It's really he does unbelievable work. He's a true professional because he like nitpicks everything. Like, I mean, you know what? And you know what, Steve? What was amazing is I don't care how long it takes in between shots that we're doing. It was magic to watch you. And like we talked on the ship, I said to you, I'm always amazed at production values. I'm always amazed at people who really put their heart and soul in it. You do. You really do. So I am now a fanboy. See, the minute all of a sudden I saw him in there, I started to stutter. I just started to stutter because it's like, oh my God, you know?
Yeah.
I listen, I thought the amazing Kreskin walked in the room. You know what I mean? You know, oh boy, am I showing my age there, Steve?
Yeah.
How are you? How you doing? How is filming going there?
Good. We're getting ready for another night of investigation. I don't know that anything we do the rest of the time we're here will live up to the night we had when you came on board.
Yeah.
But we're still going to try.
Yeah.
It was, we're going to, in a couple of minutes, we'll take a break and we're going to start talking about it. Just as a teaser, I want to give everybody a little teaser, guys. I've been, I'm kicking around a long time, too long, 40 years, I think, over 40 years. And when you get to a certain point in the field, nothing really shocks you. 2 years ago, I had a peak experience. And this time, I have never, and Steve, this is the honest to God truth, I have never had that many meters go off at once. Yeah. That room, that 911 room, and we're going to get into it, on the second half of the show. That 911 room was electric, was just absolutely electric. And I was like, this stuff works. Wow. Never ceases to amaze me.
Yeah.
This stuff works. But it was just amazing. Steve, I got to ask you, I mean, had you ever done like, we just did a light loose seance there. And have you ever been involved with that?
No, I've never participated in one and never actually filmed one before.
It was great. I'm so glad that you got a chance to really experience a little bit of it. But what I loved about it was at one point we were trying to go and we were trying to raise this energy. So I had Steve put his hand out, and then I put my hand over, and I'm closed. He's got his eyes closed, and I'm bringing my hands down, and I said, "Tell me when it's all you feel it." And he goes, "Right there." And we were about 6-8 inches off your palm, from palm to palm, and you go, "It's hot down here," which it was. It's hot down here, but the energy is cold. And I thought, wow, okay, it's starting to go, and it's starting to build.
Yeah.
And that's what I was so thankful for that, because then I knew we would have more phenomena. And you know what? I'm going to take an early break, just a 30-second just to pay a couple bills, and we'll be right back. And you know, guys, what are you guys doing? You're listening to the Black Cat Lounge. Where else? Here on Facebook, and we're broadcasting from my basement. What else could be better? What else could be better? And you know what? Even better, we're located next to the transfer station here in the beautiful Depew, New York. And here we go. Be back in just a few minutes.
The Black Cat Lounge is sponsored by Paranormal Oddities, The Little Store with the Big Heart, Buffalo Phantom Hunters, Patronus Photographic for all of your photography and design needs, Nancy's Sewing Room, masks, aprons, purses, and more, and Wild Raven Candles for those magical times.
And we're back. And this is fantastic. I'm so thrilled that we've had some great people. We had Steve Shippey, he just wandered on. I mean, just wandered on. I just love him. And I'm so thankful that we have the amazing Ann LaFave and Bill Randall on. Welcome back, guys. And let me just go, and I want to show some people what we were doing on board that ship. And this is us working hard, by the way, as we see Ann in the middle she is the rose between two thorns, and it's so perfect. But let's talk about the project a little bit. What about the project? What's so important about doing this filming on board the ship?
Well, I guess just to make people aware that and basically kind of get our name out there, because we don't do any major advertising or stuff like that. But a lot of Steve's films are usually sold out here in Saginaw.
They are always sold out.
Yeah, so we could get a lot of publicity out of this. That, like
Right.
say, with the paranormal community, to let them know that, hey, we are here on the map, and you want to have an experience, come on over and check us out. But it's mainly get some publicity out there.
Yeah, and he's here to help us do that.
Yeah,
That's phenomenal.
He had to go back on board because he's filming.
Yeah, he's filming right now.
But he wants to say hi.
I'm so glad that he came on. I love this. I love him. He's just a
very
good guy.
nice guy.
He's just a good guy, and he's so talented. He's really talented.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
very. Yep.
Now it was great because the guys. Now let me go 2 years ago. Let me go back 2 years ago. Now I'll show you guys where it happened. 2 years ago, I was brought in on an event, and I'm jaded, just like everybody else. I'm very jaded.
Yep.
And it's like, okay, we'll get something on board. I've done the ships here in New York, in Western New York, and I've gotten stuff, get EVP, maybe get a little shadow person once in a while. And we come out of the boatswain locker. Is that what it is?
Locker, yep.
And it was hot. It was so hot.
It was.
So everybody's in this room, the 9/11 room. Everybody's sitting around. Now I'm sitting there like everybody else and just kind of relaxing. All of a sudden, I felt these eyes on me. These like just burning into my head, and I'm like, what the hell? I turn, and there is an apparition in this. You'll see this hatchway.
Yep.
And what was neat about it was it was a full body. it was dark. I mean, it was that was like a shadow part,
Mhm.
but on top was his head, and it was like white but over pixelated, so you actually couldn't quite see who it was. And the figure would look like it was on roller skates because it slowly turned and went down through the hall. And at that point, yours truly, who shouldn't be jumping up and running like an idiot, I jumped up and I ran. And Bill, I'm sorry, I apologize to Bill to this day for almost running into him. It was I don't know how I didn't fall on that knee knocker. I don't know. I don't know how I cleared the hatch.
Yeah,
I
saw you going down the hatch. I did.
I did, because there's a stairway going down to the lower deck. I'm run down there and I see at the end of the little hall the thing, vibrational person, whatever, slowly turn and go down the hall. I got it now. Mind you, I still have bruises from hitting the lockers, and I'm bouncing back and forth.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And when I got to that hall, there was nothing. Now there's a stairwell going up to the upper deck, and there's a crewman's berth. So if this thing, whatever it was, got up those stairs, I would have seen it. I would have heard it. I would have seen it. So I'm thinking, well, it's got to be in the crew berth. So I got my flashlight. I'm jumping in there. I'm yelling, "Who's in here? Is anybody in here?" And I'm looking around. I'm checking all the berths. I'm going around looking. There's nothing there. That was I think I just pooped my pants moment.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. And I came back in and I was like, holy cow. And as I'm running, I could hear people going, "Is he sick? Is he sick?" You know, I'm going to go throw up on the side off the side of the ship. But it was amazing. But what I didn't know is other people actually saw this.
Yeah.
Right, Ann? You saw it.
Adam and I did.
Yeah.
We seen it twice.
And
we turned to each other and we just shook our heads like, "You seen what I seen?"
Yep. Yeah.
And that's when we turned and looked.
It was crazy. I'm just going to tell you guys, it was insane.
Yeah.
And I always talk about it being a peak experience, because peak experiences are things that you need to go and have in order to keep yourself fresh, in order to, make sure that it's like, wow. And I know there's a lot of mediums out there that say, "Oh, I see this and I see that all the time."
Right. Yep.
BS. I'm just going to come around and say BS. When that was a full-bodied apparition, I can't go and explain it. I chased after it. I don't know what it was. I don't know how it got away from me. But in my life so far, and again, I've been doing this a long time. Usually, like apparitions, you'll see like an arm or partial or something. It's never anything that intense. And I have to say, in my entire life right now, going back to Lilydale, going back to all the places that I've been, 5 times. 5 times. And out of those 5 times, I would say that's a top 3. It was in the top 3, because it was like my heart was like just beating so hard when I got back. I remember the sweat dripping off me and going, what the hell just happened?
Yeah. I know you scared the hell out of me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You scared everybody.
Yeah.
It's so funny because there's a little wooden platform. I cleared. I don't know how wide that platform is, but I cleared it. And Bill was standing there, and I still remember like brushing up against him, and I saw Bill's body go this way as I went running after it.
Yes.
It was crazy.
It was
crazy.
And
then, of course, later on at night, I mean, I was in the executive officer's cabin, and all night long I kept hearing somebody with keys, jingling keys, walking around. And I said to Bill, I said, "Who was on fire watch last night?" And he looks at me like strange. He goes, "Fire watch?
Yeah.
Nobody's walking around the ship." And I heard it distinctly like 3 or 4 times. I remember that to this day. And it was that jingling of keys. But what really blew my mind was we came back and I asked you guys, who could it have been?
Yeah.
And who do you guys think it is?
Oh, we think it's Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
Absolutely,
who is Paul? For
Paul
people
was,
that don't know.
for the people that don't know, Paul was the caretaker of the Edson when it was a museum ship in New York City for 13 years. He was caretaker. And he loved the Edson so much that he actually lived on board the Edson. And he lived in one of the staterooms that are on board the ship. So he was always there. And Paul actually died aboard the ship. It was Thanksgiving Day of 1999. And like I say, we bump into him every now and then. It's just, to us, it's just commonplace here. I mean, you see him, every now and then you'll bump into him. Or he loves to move things around on us. You could set something down and it won't be very long. You come back and now it's gone. And that happens quite a bit. So yeah, he was a caretaker of the ship for quite a long time.
What I thought was neat was because it's a little, I will say a little morbid.
Yeah.
But he died just outside the 9/11 room, right?
He did. Right outside the door. Right outside the door.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, where everybody saw that hatch, we're talking about 6 feet away. That's where
6
they
feet
found him
away
on
from
the
that
floor.
door. Exactly.
That was amazing. That to me was that was amazing.
Yeah.
I've
Well, he
never
had an experience there too on the bottom of that ladder where they heard something fall down that ladder. Heard another person were inside the 9/11 room, and come to find out, it was a nickel that somehow somebody threw down.
1946. I got the recording.
Yeah.
you guys were telling me about. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yep.
That a lot of people don't realize, but that could be considered an aport. Something
Right.
it's like the transmutation of matter going through matter and
Yeah.
ending up in a different spot.
Yeah.
That is, it's to me, it's amazing. That 9/11 room was great. Now, let's talk a little bit about what happened during filming. Now, I'll just lead up and then you guys can kind of go with it.
Yeah.
So we're all, I was getting prettified. I was getting prettified.
Certified. Yeah, you did.
I've listened, hey, it didn't take much makeup to make this guy pretty.
Yeah,
And,
right.
yeah, really. You need more makeup than that, You need one of
Had
those
her
big
hands,
powder
her
puffs.
job cut out anyway. Yeah.
But so we're waiting, and and Steve being a perfectionist, he was setting up the lights and making sure the apertures on all the cameras were up to date, and it was like amazing. But I do seance, and I said to Steve, I said, Jesus, if you want me to do seance, I said, we'll try it. But I mean, there's no guarantees. There's no guarantees. Seances, you try it for 20 minutes, and if it works, it works. If it don't, it don't.
Sure.
Well, I said to Ann flippantly, gee, Ann, if we had a table, we could try table tipping. And Ann goes, I've always wanted to try it. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, lo and behold, I turned and poof, there was a table.
The table.
This little table. I think I have a photo of it someplace.
Oh, yeah.
And it was, there we are.
Yeah.
There's Steve and I when we were just before we were going to start doing the seance. And you sat there with me, right? You sat with me the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And we put our hands on the table, and you could feel the vibrations coming up. And then what happened, Dan?
Oh my God, it just went crazy on us. I mean, I want to do it again. That table was just moving like crazy. And I kind of was wondering if it would work or not, You know how some things are, it's true, it's not true.
Exactly. You don't know.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
The energy in that room was just unbelievable.
Yeah.
Well, it was funny because I'm just kind of like, it's a crapshoot. You never know if it's going to work. And the floor is rough. It's a little sticky. The floor is rough. And usually when I teach, I usually use a lighter card table. I put some felt bottoms on there just to build confidence up. Well, this was just, there's nothing on there. It's just the bottom of that table. And you put your hands on there, went just right to the side.
Yeah.
And when Steve did the same thing. We started working with it.
Yeah.
And my hands were tingling.
Yeah. I did it too.
Yeah.
I was amazed.
Crazy.
Yeah. I'd never seen it before.
It was just fun, was it? I love doing that. I mean, it's just I think that's old school, and they usually teach you that so you're not afraid of phenomena.
Right.
That's something that we kind of just work with. But it was like, it was great. And at that point, I said, you know what? I think we're gonna have a winner tonight. I think we're gonna be good.
Yeah.
And then Steve sat down. Now you have to understand, we're in this room. There's this metal cased room, It's a little warm.
A lot.
And we are surrounded by K2s. Now, Steve has every K2 in the entire world and like times 5 of them. And we are surrounded in there. Now, where I saw the apparition, there was a motion detector there, the music box motion detector.
Right.
And it kept going on and off, because you could see the little red light going. And I'm going, what's down there? What's going on? And several times I got up just to check to make sure that it wasn't like a bat flying around,
Right.
or
Yeah.
bugs or whatever. So that was going, and I thought, okay, now we got a table that's moving, and we're already got one piece going, and we're not even ready to shoot yet.
Right. Yeah. It's like it's waiting for us to get ready to go.
It was crazy. And here's Adam.
Yeah.
Adam is there. Hi, Adam. Nice to see you, brother. It's
Hey,
good
Adam,
to
how
see
you doing,
you.
buddy?
And we said nice things about you earlier, believe it or
Yeah,
not.
we did.
And didn't want to say nice things, but I did.
You're
Yeah.
so bad.
But it was we, when we started, so Steve is sitting across from me, and when we started, I'm trying to explain seance, and these buzzers are going off around me.
Yeah. Everywhere.
It was crazy.
Oh,
I've
Now,
never
let me
seen-
ask you this. Is this normal down in that area where, like, you put REM pods and like you get all this, all sorts of buzzer, all the REM pods are going off. Well,
Everything was.
What was there, about 10? Was there 10
There had
REM
to be.
pods?
Oh, at least.
And they
yeah,
were
at
all
least.
around the room, and
Yeah.
all of them are going off at
Yeah.
one time.
Yeah, they were all
Yeah.
different places.
Yeah.
It was
Yep.
unbelievable. And of course, everybody either had their phone in airplane mode or turned
Right.
off,
Yeah.
which, everybody double checked on it, because it was a,
Yes.
it's a micro crew, and it was you guys and myself. So
Right.
everybody was, I kept trying to explain to, about it, and it just started buzzing. I said, well, let's try to get some kind of contact. And it was like a little iffy. You know what I mean? It was a little iffy. It wasn't really going.
Right.
But Steve put his hands on the table, and the table moved, which I was happy about.
Yeah. I
And
was.
that's why I said to him, I said, put your hand out. And that's when I brought my hand. And that's a 101 way of
Right.
doing things, to like really start amping things up, build that energy. And when you have 2 people and you're building that energy up, now it's a concentration. It's not just one person doing it, it's 2 people. So you got the energy of these 2 people adding into the atmosphere that's going on in there.
Yeah. Yep.
When he said it was cold, and
Yeah.
I looked at you and I could see sweat coming down.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It was hot.
It was.
hot.
It was really hot.
Yeah.
Listen, Ann doesn't sweat. So I'm just going to tell everybody out there, Ann
No.
doesn't sweat.
No.
But Bill was sweating.
Yeah. I was.
And I was sweating. And we were building that energy and kept going. And I could, and when I do seance, of course, I'm trying to call out, which means bring the spirits in. And I said at one point, touch one of us.
Yeah.
Touch one of us. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Pull one of our hair. And I'm thinking to myself, after it comes
that's
out,
not
I'm thinking,
you.
I have no hair. Bill's got no hair. Steve's got no hair. So guess what, Ann? You're the
you got
you're
the
the
hair.
next one to get it.
That's right.
So it was really starting to build up, and I could feel like in my chest where it was,
absolutely.
it was really going. And you guys were like behind me,
Yes.
Right.
we
and
were
I kept
sitting
going,
Yep,
down.
right
touch
behind
one
you.
of us. Come on, touch one of us. Touch one of us. Let's go. Touch one of us. And it got to a point and it just dropped. It just dropped. And at that point I knew, okay, the energy, whatever energy was there is gone. It's already starting to dissipate, starting to leak out, because it only stays in a pod. It's like a bubble. And I was like, I'm sorry, Steve. I really wanted try to get somebody to get touched. That's what I really was trying to do. Now I'm going to turn it over to you guys here. I'm not going to go this way.
Yeah,
I'm going to go that way. There we go.
Okay.
I'm going to go and turn it over to you guys. And you guys tell what happened, because when you told me, I think that you guys saw my shit. I was like, what?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
That
I'm
was
going to
amazing.
turn this right over to you guys. What happened at that point?
Well, what happened was Tim was sitting at the table with Steve, and Ann and I are sitting behind him in a couple chairs, side by side, much like we are right now. And Ann had looked at me. She says, "Did you feel that?" She felt like a cold,
like a cold tingle on my right arm.
Yeah. And I said, no, at the time, I said, I hadn't felt anything. But as the energy in that room, and I've never seen anything. It was went on the scale, went here, then here, then here, and then it was peaked right out.
Yeah, it was great.
As we're sitting there, we're kind of looking at each other, and something cold went right through both of us at the same time, at the same instant. We kind of look at each other, and I felt it like, and I said to her, what the hell was that?
I don't know.
And she felt it at the exact same time, or whatever it was, it went right straight through both of us.
That's
crazy.
That's crazy. And I mean, that's old school stuff. I mean, usually what happens is if you're using doing a seance, usually you have somebody that acts as a battery, so all that energy goes into one person.
Right. Yeah.
I think what happened was that because when I was calling whatever it was, the spirit personality in, that energy built and had nowhere to go and didn't know where to go. And I think whatever or whoever was in there said, oh, look, there's Ann sitting there all by herself. I think I'm good. And when you guys were telling me what happened, I was just like, wow, okay. And even Steve was a little like taken aback.
I was too. I never expected in a million years. And it felt so weird. You know, I can't, it's very, very hard to describe naturally, but it was so strange. And you could feel it going like in one side and right out the other. It went right through us.
A lot of times that, people experience that when they have like a spirit that will walk through them. And that's pretty common back in the old days. I mean, that was just normal.
Yeah.
And, but I don't feel that was the case. I feel that it was whoever was in that room with us wanted to make sure that we could go and know for sure that they were there.
Right. Yeah.
And that to me was great. And you know what? I'm so thankful that you guys had that experience.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people have never had anything like that happen. I mean, I've been
you've been
scratched and where this is more etheric. This is something that really the energy just goes through.
Also, so it's kind of personal.
That was definitely
get a kiss.
No kiss or pat on the ass or nothing.
But I think, Jim, I think so too, that all four of us in there, we had so much energy between all of us.
All of us.
It was just awesome.
It was unbelievable. Yeah.
Just plus on top of it, we all had decided that we were going to, in seance, what you do is you say, this is what we're doing it for.
Right.
And our intentions were all at the same level.
Yeah.
And we had worked the whole day together. We had well, the three of us had gone to lunch.
Oh yeah.
And then we had gone to dinner with the crew, and we started at 8 o'clock, literally at 8 o'clock in the morning,
8 o'clock,
or 8 o'clock at night. I'm sorry, 8 o'clock p.m. And we worked straight through to like almost 5. And I think that happened around 3:45, 4 o'clock.
Yeah, it was
around
late.
there.
It was late.
Yeah.
And it was almost as if that the energy like peaked. Like something naturally fed into it, and then with us, we kind of acted as a funnel, bringing it in there. Yeah. And that to me was just an amazing. That was an amazing experience.
Well,
those things again. Now I've been on the Edson twice.
Right.
Who am I? Listen, I'm a putz from Western New York. You know what I mean? Two times I've been on board.
Yeah, and two
times. That was a peak experience.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Well, it's like I told you, Tim. There's investigations, and then there's Tim Shaw investigations. You set the bar pretty high.
Well, I don't mean to set the bar that high.
Yeah.
But it was great. I'm just, what, I'm so thankful that we were able to go and capture that. That to me was amazing.
Yeah, that was great.
There was still one more thing that happened.
Yeah.
Now, first off, I'm a Ouija guy. I love Ouija boards. And this is Steve Shipley's Ouija board that I want. I offered him $20 for it. He wouldn't go for it.
Yeah, that's a nice one.
I love that one. It's like a 1918, 1920 board. Yeah. It's one of the first ones that were made that weren't like hand stenciled on. It's more of a commercial board, but it really has a lot of great energy to it. But what
Yeah.
he did was, for you paranormal geeks like us, you guys know what the DR60 is, right? It's an old tool that an old recorder he used to use for transcription. And all of a sudden, when it didn't work really well, it had a lot of static, and all of a sudden they started finding like different sounds, different voices were on there.
Yeah.
And now they're sought after by paranormal investigators because of the fact that they don't make them. They really don't make them anymore. They don't make them at all. We can't go and I know that there's a lot of manufacturers that have tried to duplicate them and they can't do it. And it's amazing. And I know my friend Joe Piari has one that, we use on a lot of different investigations because it always seems that we pick something up. So Steve has the bright idea of going, and I love it, of putting the 60 where else? On the Ouija board.
The Ouija board. That was amazing.
Yes.
So we were working with the Ouija board, and you know what? First of all, Zozo came through, and and I'm looking at Ann going, yeah, okay, right. And so it was working, and we were getting little bits and pieces, and then it was just sort of like wandering around, and it went said goodbye. So Steve said, let's put the 60 on there. What was coming through? I mean, it was like,
I heard that, Tim, I've never heard anything that, I guess, specific, and it was definitely there.
It was the name. What was the name? Xavier.
Yeah, Xavier.
Yeah.
And we had gotten that one time before, weeks and weeks ago.
So the name. So now we have verification because of the fact that it already was existing. Somebody got it before, so that came through. And what the heck was the last part? I can't remember. Oh my God. All I can remember is I just looked at it and went, shit.
Yeah. Well, all of us did. Yeah, we all did that.
I can't remember. It was like, it was like, again, it was early in the morning, and I wish that I could remember exactly what came through.
Yeah, it was like Davison or something along that line.
Like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it was such a strong, positive reaction. Yeah. And a lot of times when you start working with the 60, I think the problem is that and I've asked like demonologists this question. I think sometimes you get lower spirits in there, I shouldn't say spirits, lower vibrations. And because a lot of people get F-bombs, and I think it's your own physical makeup, that causes it, and you bring some, some interesting people into your life anyway. But sometimes you get, because I know like Joe has gotten up at Hinsdale something about, why don't you die and come to me, on there. Yeah. Things of that nature. And a lot of it is geared to scare you.
Oh, sure.
Which is like, I always talk, and we talked about it before, parasitical spirits, they do stuff to, they can't absorb actual food because they don't have a body, but they can absorb emotions, and they want that high emotion. So we were, I think that's how we ended the night, but it was like, it was
amazing.
It was a crazy night.
You remember that one guy on the board, he wanted to come through with Zozo, but that was bullshit.
Oh my God, yeah. It's Ann and I are on the board, and and it's like goes back to Z. Right. I went, wait a minute. What? If you're a big bad Zozo, you would have already scratched me or whatever.
Oh, you bet.
Yeah. You would have done something else, so don't give me this crap, And it's funny because people think of that as provoking.
Sure.
And I don't think it's provoking. I think it's just like forcing, whatever it is, to be honest.
Yeah.
But it was, oh my God. Now I have to ask you now, you guys, I can't believe that you guys are actually you guys did 2 nights of ghost hunts afterwards.
Yeah.
Which I mean, I can't believe it because, if somebody had asked me, hey, we're going to the most haunted location in Western New York. Do you want to come?
Yeah.
I would have said no. I would have
no.
And I have to sleep. By the way, I just want to let you know, I got home.
Yeah.
We went to my friend's daughter's birthday party. I got home by like 8:30 and I slept straight through it the next morning. I was just like, I was done. I was crispy.
Well,
I was so tired.
When I dropped you off at the hotel, the sun was coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And-
Yeah. And then you got a good breakfast.
Yeah, you did.
Well,
Yeah.
hey, listen, when you're in, and the lights were off. That's
Yeah.
the best part about it. The breakfast
Yeah.
buffet was set up. I went,
That's
I'm
right.
just gonna go and grab myself a little bagel. And then I looked, there's eggs,
Yeah.
there's
It looked
sausage,
good.
there was
Biscuits
sausage,
and
biscuit,
gravy.
gravy.
Yeah.
I gotta have at least this. I don't want to offend anybody, so I gotta have like one. I'll take one plate up to my room.
You got to
I'll
do what
get
you
that.
got to do. I
That's what
understand.
it is.
Yeah.
So what's what I want to ask is, so you had investigations the next 2 nights.
Right.
Was there
Yes.
anything residual left over? Was there anything like the energy high, or was it just like
I
back
don't
to
think
what it
so,
was,
Tim. No, I don't believe there was.
back to
No.
normal?
Pretty much back to normal. Yeah.
So that's neat.
They
Yeah.
seen some stuff and they
Yeah.
said a door closed, but I don't know.
But yeah, we don't know. But yeah, it was pretty much it's normal. Yep.
So you know what? It makes a lot of sense that the people that are involved, when they have direct intention,
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah.
build
Yes.
stuff up. That's why it occurred.
It did. I believe
And
it wholeheartedly.
I really do. And and again, we really went and we really pushed.
Yeah.
All of us were pushing. And I know
Yeah.
what's funny is, like, because I'm an instructor, a lot of people go, well, can you read what's going on? I can't read what's going on in anybody's brain. I can't get the message of they're getting, but I can feel the energy.
Sure.
And I know that when there's energy around them, and I can feel that energy, that there's still more messages. And that's why a lot of my students hate me, because I keep going, there's more to it. Just keep
Yeah, there's
talking,
more, yeah.
keep talking,
Right.
bring it out. And that night, it was funny because I kept feeling like you poor people behind me. And it was like throbbing, it was pulsating.
Yeah.
And I'm like, am I like, am I overtired? You question yourself. Am I
Right.
overtired? Am I actually feeling this? And then those damn buzzards would go off again.
That
You
was
know,
And
the ear-piercing buzzers and whistles
It
and this
was
and that.
nuts.
Yeah.
it got to the point where I thought my eardrums were going to explode.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not going
It
to
was so
lie to you.
loud. Yeah.
It was an amazing experience. And
Yeah.
I have to thank you guys, because in this field that we do, and and I'll be honest with you, I love working, and I love being able to go and work on these projects. I think they're so important. But you guys, you guys brought me on. I mean, nobody else brought me on. Nobody really knows who Tim Shaw is.
Yeah.
And you guys brought me in on it, and it was, again, I got to thank you for an amazing.
Well,
It
Tim,
was beyond amazing. It was beyond amazing. It was a peak. It was another peak experience. And I
Another
can't
peak.
believe that
yes.
2 peak experiences in the same
Yeah.
location.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
never get that. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
but you
I tell
never
you,
get
Tim,
that.
we can't wait till you come back again,
Yeah.
because you are always, as always welcome here.
Yes.
Always.
And
I
the
wanna-
night went so
It did. It went
fast.
so damn fast. Yeah.
I couldn't
Yeah.
believe it was 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
That was
I wanted to
it-
keep going.
You know what? It was like, I thought to myself, why the hell did they put me in a hotel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would have just slept right on the ship.
Yeah.
To make
I
sure
would've-
you were comfortable.
Yeah. Well,
I would have
Andrew-
been comfortable on the ship. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. All right. Yeah. She could have took you right to the airport from the ship.
Yeah.
Listen, I've slept in every haunted location I've ever investigated.
Yeah.
I've fallen asleep and last time that where you guys put me in that berth, it was perfect. It was
Right.
so comfortable, and I
Yeah.
didn't have a problem with it at all.
Yeah.
I thought it was great. Now, the hour's gone by.
It has already.
And I got to
It's-
say something, Tim. Thank you, Nan, again for my bag.
All right.
I
Oh,
love it.
Nancy created a little purse for Anne. It was her little skunk purse, and it was so funny because she just like, do you think Anne would like this? And out of this material, I said, yeah. Next thing I know, an hour and a half, and there's smoke coming out of her craft room, and
Yeah.
there
Yeah.
you go. There
There you go. Yep.
So there, Nancy just says, "You're so welcome, man."
Oh yeah. Yep.
So now, guys, how can listen? I have the website running ticker tape across the
Right.
screen. How can people
Yeah.
go? And first, if you just want to go for a tour, how can they get a hold of you guys? How can they book paranormal investigations with you guys? How do they book over? Because you guys have non-paranormal overnights, which are fantastic. So how can they do that? How can our listeners do that?
Everything that you mentioned, Tim, you can get off of that website. There's phone numbers, and what you'll do is you'll call here and talk to our event coordinator. And if there's an open date, which is really, really hard to get right now because almost every weekend has been booked up the entire summer. But you would get a hold of her and try to book it. As a matter of fact, we're taking actually dates on now for next year.
Yeah, for paranormal, we've got next year
already got next year starting to come. But like I say, you're going to have to hurry because they go very, very fast. Yes. But on the website, you can get that information.
That's awesome. The other thing is, on your paranormal nights, and a lot of people always ask me this, are beginners or novices welcome? Because a lot of people, like when I do things, people are always like, well, you've been doing it for so long. People get intimidated. Are you guys there with equipment, and are you guys there to help?
Yep, we're there. Anybody, yes. Everybody's welcome, Tim, who wants to investigate this and follow a little bit more, into it. But yeah, we've had kids on board.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's awesome. Now, here's another question. Are you guys going to have the Edison? I'm saying it. Look, I did it. I always say Edison. It's Edson. I always say that. And they're correcting me, which I love. Somebody's got to do it.
Yeah.
Are you guys having the Edson incident this year?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Now, tell everybody what that is, because I remember when I first heard about it, I was like totally confused.
Yeah.
I had no clue.
Well, a lot of people call it the haunted ship, but it's not the haunted. It's a Halloween attraction is what it is. And through the end of September to, I believe it's the first week of November, what they do is they have a haunted attraction. They set up the ship like a Halloween ghost hunt, not ghost hunt, but an attraction. So what they do is they fog almost the entire inside of that ship, all 5 decks. And they let you walk through all 5 decks. And naturally there's theatrical fog, and you can't get 3 feet away from somebody. They just kind of disappear. So you give somebody a little flashlight, and naturally there's strobe lights and there's lasers and the very disorientating noises that you got to hear. And you walk through there, and naturally there's a whole bunch of actors on board the ship, ready to scare the ship out of you. So this is a lot of fun. We've had a lot of people here.
Now, Candace has brought up, our good friend Candace, has brought up a very important aspect. If I can roll her up. And
there you go.
Ghost of the Vietnamese Coast needs your donations as well.
Candace, yes, absolutely. You're right. 100%. Yeah, because that's what we run on. We run on donations. We're a nonprofit. So everything that comes in this office, Tim, goes right back on that ship.
Right.
Everybody here is a volunteer. Nobody here gets paid. So we're just do it out of love of the ship.
That's how you know that a true historic site should be preserved, because because of the volunteers and the work that they do so willingly, and not thinking of anything else but them. There's themselves. And you guys, let's face it. It's almost as if the two of you are in the Navy on a ship, because you get home once a week, I think. I think that's what it is. Isn't that what Annette told me? Your wife, Bill?
Yeah. I very rarely see her anymore. Yeah, exactly.
True.
Yeah,
I'm here more than I'm at my shop.
Yeah,
and I own it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's too funny. That's way too funny. But it's so great. I want to thank you guys so much for stopping by, and because I know that you got there's a shippy is up there, and he's filming, and he's still doing more stuff, and you guys are like running around and doing what you guys do. So thank you so much for stopping by tonight. I mean, I really do. And everything you've done for me. I mean, you guys showed me so much kindness, and
well, Tim, it was our pleasure.
Yes, we thank you for coming so much.
Yeah.
And now I'm gonna have to be nice to you guys. You know what I mean? Now I'm gonna you know what? And forget it, because when you go up to the Michigan Paracon, check the women's room, because I'll be writing stuff about you in there before you get there. I'll be flying in Thursday night, so I'll beat you there.
I'll be there Thursday night too.
Oh, damn it, you're gonna catch me.
All right.
stay tuned. Stay in the room. I'm just going to mute you guys out, and I'm going to do my outro. And again, thank you so much.
Okay.
I love you guys that you guys came on tonight, and it's just crazy. And again, the USS Edson is an epic place for paranormal investigation, and you guys definitely, all you guys out there, you guys definitely have to be a part of it. You guys have to be a part of it.
Absolutely.
So, yes. Absolutely. It's just great. So I'll just hold on a minute.
Okay,
guys, I want to again, this was a peak experience for me, a peak moment. I was very, very happy and honored and humbled to be a part of one of Shippy's productions. And I never expected to have quite the experiences that I had on board the ship. So anyway, guys, be good. Okay. Try to be safe out there. COVID's going crazy again. The government's going crazy. Use your head. Just use your head. I'm not going to preach about masks. That's not what I do. Use your head. That's all I ask. And let's be kind to each other and really volunteer. Try to find something that you love. Volunteerism isn't just going down to the soup kitchens. Volunteering isn't just going down and, cleaning, if you don't, cleaning up little parks and stuff. That's not all it is. Yeah, it's an important part of it. And a lot of people have that calling. But find something. There are so many places that need volunteers. Take the time to do it. And it doesn't, you can show up once a week. You can show up once a month. Just the idea is that you're there and you're willing to help. So anyway, this is Tim Shaw. We're here at the Black Cat Lounge. I really appreciate everything that you guys have done for me. I appreciate you guys coming in there. And where else? The Black Cat Lounge is situated next to the dumpster transfer station. So until next week, Tuesday, guys, ciao, babies. I love you all. And a special ciao to Annette Randall. Ciao, baby.